Hello and welcome back to the channel. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, I'm 12 subscribers away from my target of 300 by the end of October, so there's 11 days left. So if you haven't done so already, maybe consider it. So we're going into game week 17. I know we haven't played 17, or wouldn't have played 17 because of the postponed one, but it's still the game week 17 that should have happened. And we'll do the recap when the postponed fixtures actually do eventually come out, which we do have Millwall at home in December during the World Cup, which will be quite exciting to be fair, although we'll be out without some players. So first of all, I'll give a quick review of the Blackburn game. I was going to do it on Tuesday night, but I was really annoyed at the state of the refereeing and how I had to watch the fixture back, the highlights back anyway because I'll get work. But from watching that, I've seen that their goal, yeah, we got a fantastic goal by Diaz, but it shouldn't have happened because we should have had a penalty literally like 30 seconds before that, so they would have never gone up there and scored at that time. Obviously they may have, everything would have been different in that game and they may have gone ahead and won, but that shouldn't have happened. And then their second goal was offside, so if this is in the Premier League or if we had VAR in the Championship, yeah, it does disrupt the flow of the play a bit when you've got to wait around and see whether your goal is offside or onside and whether it actually will count or not. But I can see why it's coming, and it is obviously very useful because we have now lost because of an offside goal and us meant to have got a penalty, so we could have gone ahead and won that or at least got a draw. But if again, like I said, it's in the past and we move on into the game week 17. So our first fixture is Blackburn versus Birmingham. Again, like I said, Blackburn obviously just beat us in that last game, and I think it's going to be Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1. Then we've got Middlesbrough versus Huddersfield. Middlesbrough not doing too bad now, at least they're not bottom like Huddersfield are, so it will be a close game, and I think Middlesbrough can win this one. Middlesbrough 1, Huddersfield 0. Then we've got Millwall versus West Brom. Quite a close again. Both there in that mid-table position. I think we Millwall 2, West Brom 2. Then that's QPR, who are top of the league currently on goal difference, with Blackburn just below them. So they're doing really well, and it's good to see these teams doing better rather than the typical Norwich or Watford being up there, the typical yo-yo clubs, and the next year being Fulham. So it's nice to see a bit of a change in top of the table currently, at least anyway. And they're against Wigan, who I believe I think they lost 4-1, I believe, against Middlesbrough, I think, in the last game. I think it'll be QPR 3, Wigan 1. Then we have Reading versus Bristol City. And Reading had this one in the bag. Reading 1, Bristol City 0. Then next up, Rotherham versus Hull. Hull did get a sneaky little win the other day, I think 3-1. And Rotherham are going to win this one though. Rotherham 3, Hull 0. Already done Huddersfield. Next up we have Sheffield United versus Norwich, and Sheffield United did lose the other day, which was quite a shock. Forgot who it was against, but yeah, not too ideal for them, and because they were doing really well at the beginning of the season, you know, they're starting to drop off a bit, so hopefully they can build back up again, because I think they're in there in 5th now, or 4th or 5th. No, Burnley are in 4th, so I think they're in 5th, Sheffield United, and they're against Norwich. I believe it will be Sheffield United 1, Norwich 1. Then we have Stoke versus Coventry. Coventry have actually climbed off the bottom of the table for, I believe, the first time this season. Maybe not the first game because they drew with us 1-1, so they wouldn't have been bottom then. But since after that game, when they had a few of those games postponed due to their terrible pitch, they were at the bottom, and they've been at the bottom for at least 10 weeks, maybe a bit longer. And I think they'll lose this one. Stoke 2, Coventry 1. Then we've got Swansea versus Cardiff, the South Wales derby. And I still never understand why they're actually in our leagues. I know that if they were in their normal Welsh league with TNS and things, that they would be destroying it. But then we could look at the Scottish league and see that Celtic and Rangers were always doing well in the Scottish league. So why aren't they in the English league? So I don't actually know why they ever were in the English leagues. But they're there. They're here to stay. And I think this will be Swansea 1, Cardiff 0. Then we've got Watford versus Luton, the Bedhurst derby, so the Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire derby, they call it. not very far away from each other. I don't know how far in miles, but I know they're not far away to get there. When I was looking at potentially going Luton away, which I'm not going to be going, I can see that you pretty much go to Watford and get extra 20 minutes or so up the road. So there's a derby there for them. And I think it'll be Watford 0, Luton 1. Then we have the big one, Sunderland versus Burnley. We are sitting in 13th. Burnley is sitting in 3rd place. 3rd or 4th. I think it's 3rd actually. And Burnley are unbeaten in 12. So they only lost once, I think, or twice, but right near the beginning of the season. So it's going to be a really, really tough test for us, especially with last we beat Wigan, of course, but then before that we lost to Swansea, and we had 2 draw 0-0, and then we had the draw at Watford that was 2-2. So we haven't been too well in the form table as of yet, and that's why we slipped down to 13th. But there's still only a 7-point gap from us to the top of the league, so it's really minor there. The whole league of the Championship is wide open still. Anyone, even down here, can still be up there in the playoffs, even winning the league. Doesn't look likely, but I do think any team are in it to go up or down, really, just because there's such a small gap, and teams are beating teams that are higher and teams are losing. So yeah, really interesting the Championship season so far, and it's nice to see us against more competitive games. Yeah, we were struggling to get back up to the league, but League One is just quite hard from those teams that are going down to the Championship, and then we were just trying to rebuild again. But we're back, and I believe we are back to stay at least in the Championship, and like I said, hopefully build back up and go to the Premier League. We don't want to go up straight away, because we don't want to be back how we were when we were just constantly losing. It was a season when I went to 19 away games, and probably about 15 of those I think we lost, and we got a couple of unexpected wins, a couple of unexpected draws. I think that season we drew 2-2 to Liverpool, and might have been the season we also drew 0-0 to Arsenal. So I have seen a few unexpected ones, but most of the time we were travelling to a game very negative, and we knew we would lose, and most of the time we did. So we were coming away not really disappointed, just we didn't have any hopes. We were just kind of, we were going to go and lose to Chelsea 3-1. We'll go there, we lost 3-1. Yeah. So it's nice to actually be able to compete in these leagues and see more wins. So definitely more positive for us, the fan, to see. At the end of the day, it's a sport for the player, but for us it's entertainment. And going to all these Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and seeing losses week in and week out, it's not that fun entertainment unless you're a neutral fan and watching a match today and seeing all the different goals, and seeing Southampton put 8 past us, things like that, which I think 6 or 7 years ago actually, from just the other day. So I never made it to go doing my personal training course at the time, but I do remember I did have a ticket and I did actually want to go, and even when I found out the result, I still am gutted to this day that I didn't go to it, because apparently the atmosphere was fantastic. We were singing all the way through, and like I said, we weren't expecting anything anyway, and that's when Southampton were a very good team. I think they made Europa League that season, or near enough. But yeah, Sunderland versus Burnley, like I said, they're 12 unbeaten, and this is just one game where I don't expect too much from it. It would be lovely if we get that home win, and we did perform well against Blackburn, a lot better than we did at Swansea, mainly in that first half, but the whole game we played really well. Just unlucky really that we didn't come away with anything at all, not even a point. But it's going to be very tough to break Burnley down, no matter how hard we play, because Burnley are a good team, and a team that I think will go straight back up to the Premier League. So we'll have to see how that one go. I think it's going to be Sunderland 1, Burnley 1. Like I said, I always want to stay positive. Now they're in the Championship at least anyway, and yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if Burnley did get a win, but I think the team that we have can do it. Hopefully Sims will be back soon, and followed by Roger after the World Cup. We've only got, I think, 5 games left until that break for the World Cup anyway, so hopefully we're back to it. So yeah, Sunderland 1, Burnley 1. On Saturday I'll be going to the first round proper of the FA VAR, so my 3rd game in this FA VAR run, Bovey versus Ivy Bridge. So we're going to see how far along I can get along that one. I'm enjoying going to the local games and seeing local football. Definitely makes a change. and it's very cheap as well, so get to see football and on a cheap day, so it's a win-win really. And I'm not too bothered about the result, although it's nice to see the local team doing well. Like I said, I like Bovey and Buckland on the local teams that I at least follow along the results and try and get to a game every so often. So I'll be there, and if Bovey do lose that one, Buckland are then into the next round, so I'm just going to keep going up. I do want to go to the final, so I have to see how that goes, and I know it is something I wanted to do because they have the FA Trophy and the FA VARs on the same day, so I'd look at maybe going to Club Wembley or something, being able to see 2 games, get 2 vlogs out. Cup finals, after all, big game for those smaller sides, and probably easier for me to get a ticket as well. So yeah, hopefully everyone has a good weekend. I'll probably bring out after the vlog, I'll bring out a quick review short of however we get on against Burnley, and I'll also put that on my TikTok. But like I said, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, sometimes post on that, Instagram, Facebook, the Devon Mackham, all of those, got pretty much all on those ones of those names on those different social media accounts. I think I'm the Devon Mackham on Snapchat as well if you did want to add me. So yeah, just add me on anything. I don't post on a lot of them regularly, mainly YouTube. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you very soon. Let's get back to winning ways. And fuck the Mets.